Hello everybody, welcome back. Jim here, sitting at home tonight enjoying a little bit of beer, Asahi Super Dry to be exact, which is an excellent beer that is brewed in Tokyo. It's awesome. If you haven't tried it, if you like beers, I would recommend giving it a shot because it's really good. Anyway, I was perusing some questions on my Facebook page, which, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go and check out my Facebook and Twitter pages. I share a lot of cool stuff on there, and I routinely interact and converse with lots of people, anyone who cares to converse with me, that is. So if you'd like to go and see some of the stuff I share, and if you'd like to go have a chat with me, go over to the Facebook and Twitter pages, and you'll find all kinds of ill shit. Anyway, I was perusing, like I said, questions on the Facebook page, and I came across one by a fellow named Justinius Maximus, and he asked what drove me to move to Japan, and I've pretty much already answered that question. I came here originally in 2010 when I was a medic in the military, and after I left the military I decided to come back for school. So rather than just re-answering that question in a long drawn-out video, I figured I would elaborate a little bit on what's motivating me to stay here, because that's a really important thing. I found that if you're going to live abroad, especially, you know, in a foreign country, you gotta have some motivating factors that keep you there, because sometimes the desire to just throw in the towel and just go home can be pretty strong, and sometimes people do that. I've known people, and I've talked about this before, that got here and they couldn't deal with the isolation or the culture shock or something to that effect, and they opted to just leave, go home, and that's understandable. I'll say that first, that I don't look down on anyone who decided that it wasn't for them and went home, because sometimes I myself think that it would be really nice to go home and be, you know, back again surrounded by my family and friends and familiar places and things, and to just be, you know, comfortable, completely comfortable again. So it's understandable why somebody would want to you know, go home if they're not really feeling it. But for right now, I've got things motivating me to stay here, and I have goals, and I guess that's a really important thing, is to have goals, both short-term and long-term. So I'll go ahead and talk about that instead of what, you know, drove me to come here, which I've answered before. I'm going to answer why I'm still here. Why don't I just pack it up and leave? And for the short term, it's basically just I want to finish school, and not just finish. I guess that's not, you know, totally accurate. I don't want to just finish. I want to excel, I guess, is a good word for it. As of right now, I am pursuing a degree in communications with a minor in Japanese. And I'll say first, the schools I've gone to, this is just kind of like a side note. The first school I was going to when I got here is a school in Shinjuku called Lakeland University. And Lakeland is a U.S. school that has a home campus in, I believe, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And after graduating from there, I transferred to Temple University in Azabu Juban, which is where I'm going to school now. Temple is also a U.S. school that has its home campus in Philadelphia. So any of my viewers who are interested in potentially going to school in Japan at some point, I would say, especially if you are a student age from the U.S., but they don't just take U.S. students, obviously. I believe about half the student population is Japanese. The other half are students from all different parts of the world. So it functions, both of them function as more of international schools. But if you're a student, or you want to become a student again, and you considered going to school in Tokyo, those are two schools I would suggest. That being said, I'm pursuing a degree in communications right now, and it's always been kind of a dream of mine to work in broadcasting in one form or another. As a kid, especially as a teenager, as I got more and more interested in animation, really, not just anime, but Western cartoons as well, I became interested in voice acting and doing voiceover work. I used to sit there in front of my computer with a microphone and try to do as many different kinds of voices as I could, and none of them were like really very good, but it was something that I enjoyed doing. And I had a friend who was an animator. I can't remember what school it was. I believe it was a school in Alabama that he went to for animation, and he would do little Flash cartoons, and I would occasionally do voices for his Flash cartoons. And so that was something I was already interested in, some kind of broadcast performance profession. Aside from that, other things broadcasting related interest me, whether it be advertisement. I would like to work in advertising or radio, or even just just doing voiceovers for commercials or things like that, working in television, film, working for some kind of successful multimedia, anything, social networking, anything where I can be creative, and especially try to use my voice, which I'm not saying that I have a great voice or anything, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy sitting down in front of a microphone with some copy or a script in front of me and just reading off random things, an advertisement for beer or recliners or charcoal, which is something else that I've done. So some kind of broadcast performance job would be like the dream job for me. And that being said, if I was not going to live here in Tokyo, or at least in Japan, I think I would want to go home, back to Louisiana, rather small town there in southern Louisiana, because I've done quite a lot of moving around in my life, actually, and I'm at the point where I don't think I would want to go somewhere where I would have to start over again, and if I went back home to Louisiana, there would be far fewer opportunities there for me to pursue this dream of working in broadcasting or television or advertising, something like that. Not a whole lot of opportunities for that kind of work there, whereas in Tokyo there's lots and lots of media outlets here, lots and lots, especially lots of foreign talents find it a little bit easier to get work here, especially if you are bilingual. You could become a television personality or work in commercials or just do voiceover work, something to that effect. I actually know people personally that have used either talent agencies or something to that effect to get jobs working in commercials, get jobs modeling, advertising, even doing voiceover work for various video games, singing, musical performances, all kinds of stuff. And it seemed like there was a pretty big market for foreign talents like that, especially if your Japanese is very good, which is also why I'm minoring in Japanese, because also by the time I graduate, I would like to be fluent in Japanese. I want to be I want to have all the tools, quote unquote, to succeed, to go out there and show what I've got. And maybe I won't be successful at it. Maybe it'll all crash and burn and I'll end up leaving anyway. But for the time being, that's the goal, and that's what I'm working towards. And I'm sure someday, if I do grow tired of all of this, or if it doesn't work out, or if I've just had enough, I may just return to Louisiana, settle into a much simpler kind of life, and just wait for retirement or something like that. But I'm not ready to do that yet. So basically, I've given myself two options. It's stay here and pursue that kind of career that I've always wanted, because people will say there's always English teaching to fall back on. I don't necessarily want to do that because I have no passion for that. I have no real desire to be a teacher or teach English or anything like that, and I don't really think I ever want to do any kind of work that I don't have a passion for, at least never again. So that's basically it. Either I stay here, which isn't that hard because I actually like it here. I've been here quite a long time, and it's really grown on me and endeared itself to me. So there's lots of things that I like about living in Tokyo. There are some detractors out there. I won't name names, but there are those out there who don't care for Tokyo so much, and that's fine and understandable. But I personally really do enjoy living here. I really love the people I've gotten to know since living here, and that's another motivation that keeps me around. Is I might not have all my family and friends from back home here, but I certainly have friends, and they definitely make things a lot easier. So outside of just liking it here in general, that's a big motivating factor for me, is hopefully pursuing that dream of working in broadcasting. But the other thing that I would want to do with my life is just go home and basically get, something, a nice, simple job, whatever it might be. It could be retail, it could be manual labor for all I care. Just something where I could be there home with my family and friends, and when I'm not working, I'm just, relaxing, taking it easy, out in my parents' little country home. That would be pretty cool too. So I've basically given myself those two options. Either stay here and make it work, or go home and run out the clock. Those are really the only two things on my mind. So Justinius Maximus, I had answered your question before in the past, but reading it this time around made me think about why I'm still here. And that's what I would say for anyone who wants to go and live abroad. If you want to move to Japan or anywhere else, that's what I would suggest. You have to have your motivations for not only going somewhere, but staying there. If that's indeed the plan, to stay there and make it work, you need motivation, you need goals, you need to make sacrifices, you need to deal with the fact that you're going to be homesick, you're going to be missing out on a lot of things. If you can deal with those things, you might be able to stick around and make it work. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I can make it work. It hasn't worked yet. Like, it's working okay right now, but to really work, I need to, have like a job and money and at least a little bit of success. I would consider that working out. But until then, we are working towards making it work out. Anyway, I don't know why I got so passionate, and that's kind of really stretching it a bit. Passionate for me is like, whatever. I have kind of like people have said I have kind of like a Stephen Wright quality about me. Everything is very monotone, and I tend to drone on. But just thinking about that question really, kind of impassioned me a little bit. Made me want to sit here and record this. So thanks, Justinius Maximus on Facebook, for getting me off my ass. Well, I'm still sitting on my ass, but getting me to turn the mic on and say something into it. So thanks a lot. But anyway, that's about all I have to say right now, because I want to finish drinking this beer. But thank you, everyone, for listening. It's greatly appreciated. Again, go check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Give this video a thumbs up. Share. Comment with me. What the hell am I saying? Comment on the video. And let me know what you guys think. Do any of you live abroad or live far from home? What's motivating you to stay there? What goals do you have in mind? What makes it all work for you? And until next time, thanks for listening, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.